right. Well, hello there, everyone, and welcome to a brand new Monday Night Therapy. And I have no idea why this screen looks like this, but we'll just deal with it. I'm your host, Minnie Hunt, and yeah, break's late. As usual, my first night back from vacation, and he likes to keep me on my toes. So, yeah, we have this to deal with. Also, maybe we don't actually need him. That's what I was thinking. Because tonight is a very special episode of the Five Heart podcast that is going to reveal what you all think are the top plays during your fandom as Husker football fans. So I know for a fact we have at least 3 entries into this, and I hope that you'll share as we go along. I'm going to go ahead and, oh, look at that. PoliJam is sharing already. I'm going to go ahead and put in the chat the call in, because if you would like, it would be easier for you to join me and tell us about it. I know I have Joe Lileikis and James Boardman's ready to go. So if you guys want to join, you can talk about that. Let's see. I'm going to do this right now. Okay. And then we'll say hello to everyone. Let's see here. Start at the top. We have first was Fred. Hey, Fred. Fred is like my new favorite co-host because he shows up on time. Not only that, he comes prepared and he looks the part. Plus, I mean, yeah, he does have a degree in broadcasting. So, Fred, welcome. And let's see here. Here's the Freds. And then James Boardman's here. He says, the Dark Master is pleased. I don't know what this means, you guys. Hits night. God called. He said that you are quite mistaken, Fred. Okay. And then Husker Chuck. May the 4th be with you. Okay, what's today? Is today like something having to do with Star Wars? Is that what's going on? Please tell me, because I have no idea. Fred, you're so awesome. Seriously, if I knew how awesome you were, I would have had you on the show helping me from day one. He says, I do what I can, Minnie. You're making me blush. I don't think that's true. Okay. And then Husker Chuck says, his construction is still in progress. No camera set up here. Okay. You don't need cameras. You can just use your video. It's not necessary. We don't have to see you like that. So if you want to join, please go ahead. Okay. So Husker Chuck says, no, just the 4th commenter. We were goofing around waiting for somebody. Well, you know what happens when you're waiting for me. You're going to have to explain to me all the comments that you're making. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay. A video with no camera, do tell. Yes. Okay. So all you need, all you have to do, from what I understand, is click on the button and then go into StreamYard. You don't have to have a camera. It can just be like you and I talking. All right. And I think I did put it in, didn't I? Did I forget to send it? Let's see here. Dana Williams, you're cute. No, it's in there. Nobody's clicking on it, but it's in there. Okay, here's the real deal. I think Greg wanted me to say this to you guys because we were going back and forth last night in a text, and I told him that I was really ticked off. Here. Told him I was really ticked off that you guys think that you're such great fans. Okay? Actually, Husker Chuck's here. Thanks for joining me, Husker Chuck. Let me bring you on. Hold on. Hello? Are you there, Husker Chuck? Hello? Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Hello? Uh-oh. What's going on here? You guys can't hear him, can you? Okay. I don't know why it's not working like we thought. That's a bummer. Wait, you're there. I
How
can hear
about
you.
now?
Yay! Oh my gosh, yay! You're
Okay.
here.
Technical difficulties.
That's okay. This worked. See?
Hello,
You
everyone.
don't even have to have a camera. Isn't that awesome?
You do
Okay,
have to close your YouTube thing when you get on, though.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it goes very echoey.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, because it's like double, right?
Many iterations.
Mm-hmm. And it can
Anyway,
do
you brought us on for favorite Husker single plays, memories, that kind of thing. Everybody's going to have their own starting point. I know you've only been a fan for about 10 years, so that's okay. That's okay. But you got a starting point there, and mine kind of fall before that, one quite a ways before, and one sort of close. But the one you might almost have gotten, but maybe not quite, is Alex Henry field goal against Colorado in 2008. That the setup of that was, there it is. Yes. Beautiful.
I happen to have that because
it was 31-30. If he doesn't make that field goal, we'd already used a timeout. The game was over. Colorado could have taken a knee and run the clock out and won the game.
Oh.
So that's why we even had to try that one. We had lost like 15 yards the play before on a big sack, and I'm like, why? Yeah, that's Nebraska, but he bailed us out. That was I've not heard Nebraska's stadium pop like that for a long time, or since like that. That was loud.
Really?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That it just shook. Yeah.
So that was in 2001, did you say?
I believe it was 2008. Yeah.
Oh, yes. I wasn't even considering becoming a wee Husker fan yet.
I figured that was just a little before your time, but close. And the other one goes back to the 78 Oklahoma game, and that the kickoff coverage after the field goal in the fourth quarter, that is just an unbelievable hit, and it was perfectly legal. And the guy was unconscious before he hit the ground. He hit him so hard. I've never seen anything close to as hard of an impact. And I've seen blindside block. This wasn't blindside. This was a guy running at full speed at a guy. All the blockers missed him completely, and he went right into the chest of the ball carrier at full speed. And it was an unbelievable impact. For those that want to watch it, it's early, about early third of the first third part of the fourth quarter. It's right after the only field goal in the game. If you want to go check that out, it's on YouTube. It's
okay. Husker Chuck, I need to know, do you go back and watch these often?
I'll watch if I haven't rewatched a game recently and I find it on YouTube, I will watch them. Yeah. I've collected YouTube Husker games going all the way back to the 20s. Wherever I find them online. There's a great Rose Bowl, 41 Rose Bowl on. It took me a while to find it, but it's there. That was our first bowl game. We lost, but it's still fascinating for me to see something like that. I became a historian type, just devouring old Husker football. So I have knowledge that goes back beyond my actual fan time. because I really wasn't a fan until 70, but I feel like I know the 60s pretty well, and even quite a bit of the 50s. It goes back.
Well, I feel,
Fascinating.
I
I'd
feel like
love to. I'd love if somebody somewhere out there has some grainy footage of the 1915 Notre Dame Nebraska game. I would love to see it.
1915.
Yeah, yeah, that was our first national win. Beat, not the Four Horsemen. They weren't them yet, but that was our first big nationally recognized win. And then beating the Four Horsemen twice, and they were the famous Notre Dame backfield from, I believe, 1922 to 24, and they owned it during their 3 years playing together. They only lost 2 games and tied 1. The tie was against Army, and the 2 losses were to Nebraska.
Oh my gosh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Okay, here
And
we
somebody
have.
asked about the fish. The fish are doing good. I
So
am doing
they want
construction
to,
of walls around the fish.
yeah, they want to know
Drywall.
what's going on. What kind of construction? Because what we see, it looks pretty put together. I mean, you have some nice fish tanks in the background. What's
Yeah,
the construction?
I'm doing the exterior walls around the back side of that same room,
Okay.
and I've got a Husker wall that's going up to put some of my memorabilia. I've got some crazy stuff. So yeah, I'm sure there's people out there some much better collections than I. But I was given a 1937 book from 19. It was for Standard Oil. The gas station would have a picture from the previous game for that week, and you go to your gas, get your gas, and then you could get a picture and put it in the book. And the book I have has about half of those pictures in it, and it's just amazing. It's indecent. It's even that's something like they only did it that 1 year. I found out, but Standard Oil did that 1 year. It was just kind of a crazy thing. Somebody found it inside of a wall tearing down some building and gave it to me. I mean, it's kind of
That's
crazy.
so cool. That is so neat. I love that. Um, so you named two during your fandom. Do you have 2 more?
Oh,
Top
yeah. What's that?
top 2.
Those are probably the top 2.
Okay, so top
Johnny Rogers punt
3 and 4.
return, but that's too easy.
Okay.
I'll do a personal one. In the 1980 Sun Bowl,
Mhm.
my cousin caught 2 long passes, and one of them was for a touchdown against Mississippi State, 52 yards, and he played wingback for Nebraska. And I'll go with that. It was one of my favorite plays. Kind of selfish, but go Tim. Tim McCrady was his name.
Tim McGrady?
McCrady.
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 And he's your cousin?
Yeah, he was.
Oh,
Died of brain cancer at the age of 45.
oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's quite a while ago now, but yeah. But yeah, he was back. He mostly backed up Anthony Steele's, but he was fast, and they'd play first and second string. They'd rotate him in quite a bit. First
Mhm.
guy would play about 2/3, and the second guy would play about a third. So he in fact he had the Nebraska receiving yards record in a bowl game for quite a while. I don't think he still does, but quite a while, 105 yards, something like that.
That's nice. That's okay. And another one?
Um,
I'm sure you have more like
yeah,
personal.
the 94 season, winning the Orange Bowl, the 95 Orange Bowl against Miami in Miami, was probably that second touchdown that Schlesinger scored to take the lead in
Mm.
that game. At that point, I knew we were going to win a national championship, and we had come so close so many times. It was like we were a snake bit team. Does that sound familiar? But on
Mhm.
a different level. And we just could not win the critical game, and finally did. And in Miami, playing, in the worst possible, toughest possible scenario, playing a team on their home field. Uh, and getting it done. That was really probably yeah, that would probably the most jumpy up or downer that I've gotten in a while.
So were you there or were you watching?
I was
Uh,
not. I've never actually attended a bowl game. Uh, maybe have to do that sometime.
yeah, that's a bucket list, especially for a guy who has a Husker room like you do.
Well, I don't have one yet. I'm just going to be a wall.
Well, it's coming together really nicely, and I don't think you're going to make it in time before the season. Do you? Is it going to all come together before then?
Uh, I doubt it. I'm doing it myself and kind of at
Oh,
a
okay.
snail's pace. So probably October, I would guess, for completion.
Well, you can't
That.
work during the season, can you? On
Well,
it?
I'm retired, so I've got time.
Oh, okay.
I just
Well,
do things a little at a time.
yes. It's like I will sand this 3 times today, and then tomorrow we'll do it another 3 times.
That's kind of it. Take a little break, do a little more, take a little break. I'll take the rest of the day off. there's no time limit on this. So
Well, I love that you're doing it yourself. That's really neat that you can even do that.
well, a professional would probably do it better. There's no probably about it. He would definitely do it better, but no, it's fine. It'll have the personal touch.
Yes, with lots of fishies swimming around.
Yeah,
Well,
I've always done that. That's something that's kind of been. I had a pet store at a time, one time.
oh,
So I've had saltwater fish since 1987. Most
huh,
of them, most of the time.
that is so neat. You had a pet store?
Yeah.
Was it called Husker Chuck's Pet Store?
No, wasn't known as Husker Chuck back then. That was pre-internet.
I see. Well, okay, so here's the deal. Last night, Greg wanted to see if I would be able to grab some images for some of your, um, plays that you guys have mentioned. And I was telling him I don't think I can find um, very many plays that are considered worthy because I thought, you kind of have to have won the game, right? For it to be worthy of being on the Mount Rushmore of Husker plays during your fandom. Um,
When I saw
so,
when I saw this topic, though, I started thinking about the last 10, 12 years, and the one that comes to mind that's the most recent for me is the run against McNeese State by Amir Abdullah. There's
oh,
only like 30 seconds left in the game, and the game is tied, and he caught it and made about 20 people miss and ran it in for a touchdown from about 40 plus yards. I mean, turned a short pass into a touchdown at a time when we were really looking like we were going to go to overtime with McNeese State. But that was a heck of a play. That was pulled our
yeah.
that was probably, yeah. And of course, Ndamukong Suh had so many
Mm.
dominant performances, especially against Texas in that Big 12 championship game. But he was great all year.
Yeah, I'm sure that those are probably on Greg's Mount Rushmore if we even let him get on the show when he arrives. Maybe
We
it's
can put him in the queue.
maybe it's just going to be a Husker Chuck and Minnie tonight. You never know. But what I said to him is that I'm already given so much grief by you guys over being a newbie fan, and I try to wear that like a badge of honor because obviously, this is what I said to him, and he's like, "Oh, I can't believe you said it." I said, "Obviously, I'm a better fan than everyone else, and let me tell you why. You all need wins and championships to become fans and believers. And I don't need any of that." And I said, "I challenge you to find a more sincere fan of Nebraska football." I am Nebraska football, damn it, and I don't need any big plays to make me.
What year did you start fandom?
20, like 16, 2017.
Okay. So this was the first winning season you've seen.
I know. Yes, it is. So he's like, well, you don't have to do it if you don't want to, but that's not fair. I'm a team player. I'm doing this.
I
So
agree, Pit Snipe.
what did he say? What did he
Pick
say?
the McNeeks run. That was amazing. That was just
That's cool. Okay. We'll highlight that. Greg will want to
It
read
wasn't
that.
for a national championship, but it's a player deciding they're going to make the difference in a game.
Uh-huh. I love that.
Yeah.
What is this? Jimmy McNutty says, "Ah, Minnie, great plays depend on the context of the game and the athletic feat, not simply whether we win or lose." If I agree, but if it's going to be on a Mount Rushmore, top 4 all time of your Husker fandom, in this context, in where we are and who is joining us, like Husker Chuck who's been a fan from the 70s, and Jimmy McNutty, I don't know how long you've been a fan, but I bet it's been a while. If I'm going to sit here and say, well, let's see here, Trey Palmer's like 70-something yard run against Iowa, you guys are going to be like, oh, really? Is that what she thinks is good football? I've heard this before.
Minnie, if I gave you a video, could you show it, like a few seconds of it?
It depends, probably, yes.
The title is 1978 Nebraska versus Oklahoma with radio audio.
Okay, yeah. Are you going to send it to me in
No, if you search it in YouTube, you can find
okay.
it. It's by Historical Husker Media is the channel it's on, in case you have any question. It's only about 4 minutes long, but if you jump forward once you find it.
Nebraska what?
Versus Oklahoma with radio audio.
Oklahoma.
It's 4 minutes and 4 seconds long.
All right. Oh, yep, I see it. Okay, so what do you want me to do?
Skip forward to 1:27.
Okay. A minute.
Ready?
Wait. A minute what?
1:27.
Okay. Now I know I can't show very much of it, so
about 10 seconds.
Okay, 10 seconds. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Give me a countdown. I'll watch it with you.
Well, I'm going to put it on there.
Oh, great. I'll just watch it. I'll just watch it here then.
I can.
There you go.
Yeah. So everybody else can.
It happens fast, so keep a lookout.
Okay.
Here comes Billy Cobb forward to hit the football. And the kick is away. Phelps chases the ball to the sideline, takes the ball right on the sideline, cuts back in. He was hit, lost the ball.
Oh, wait. Now we got it. Who picks up the ball? Who picks up the ball? Dang it. We're at 1:41. Can I show the rest?
Yeah, it does show the rest.
I know. Am I allowed? I don't know.
Oh.
Yell at me when he gets
It only gave you that.
Who made the hit? John Rood got it. John Rood. Nebraska's on the ball at the 10-yard line, and John Rood was the man of the hour who hit Kelly Phelps and stunned him, knocked him loose.
They do a slow-mo. I don't know how long you can show it.
Whoa, this is what you were talking about.
Wait a minute. They're going to say that Oklahoma gets the ball. Huh?
What? Do what? Oklahoma gets the ball.
Yeah, that was a horrible call. They gave him. They said he was down before he fumbled.
Oh.
Pretty bad call.
Oh. I don't know if that was worth it.
Yeah, it fired up the defense. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
They got mad. Yeah, they got driven on a bit, but they stopped him.
Yeah.
That was that was the
That
hardest hit I've ever seen.
was insane.
He
That
tucked his
was.
head and put his shoulder right into his chest.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
And if
That's
there'd been
football.
replay, we'd have gotten the ball on the 10-yard line and would have had a much more comfortable game.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because when you've heard of the game of the century, right?
Well, I have the book right here.
Okay, 1971, Nebraska, Oklahoma. We
Yes.
win, greatest team at least at that time of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in 72, Oklahoma won. In 73, Oklahoma won. In 74, they kicked our ass. They cooked our ass in 73 too. In 75, Oklahoma won. In 76, Oklahoma won. In 77, Oklahoma won. And we're
What?
getting tired of it by this point. This is 78.
This is why we hate Oklahoma. I get it now. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So this is why this was such a hard hitting game. And we'd lost these guys like 6 years in a row, 7 years in a row, something. And we won this game. Oklahoma was ranked number 1 at the time. The next week, we jumped to number 1 after we won the game. The next week, we played Missouri in Lincoln, and I was at that game too. And we just didn't have it. And we lost.
What the heck?
And Missouri had like an 7-4 team. They weren't terrible, but they weren't great. And we lost that game, and it ended up we had to play Oklahoma again in the Orange Bowl. And Osborne was not happy about that because Oklahoma was really, really good. And they were highly motivated to rematch that game. And that's 35-31 against Missouri. And we went down and played them again in Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl, and they won. And the score was 31-24. But honestly, it wasn't that close. I think we scored late in that game to make it that close. They were a good team. That's probably one of the best Oklahoma teams that they ever had.
Really?
Yeah, there were 10 fumbles in that Nebraska-Oklahoma game. A lot of hard hitting. There wasn't like this. These weren't people, slipping the ball. These were people getting hit so hard that they dropped the ball. And they lost, I think, 6 of them or 7. That's why they lost the game.
Oh my gosh.
It was a little different game than they have now. It really was. But yeah, I mean, that game will always stand out. I was at that game. I was, my cousin played on that team. He was a sophomore that year. So, I mean, I was at a lot of home games at that time. I would have been 15 at that time. So the bounce Ruski, yeah, that was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And of course the fumble Ruski, which turned the tide in the 83 game. But we used that a couple times against Oklahoma too. The original Bummerooski was against Missouri. I'm thinking that was like 74, 75. It was a fake punt that they ran that totally fooled them, and guys running down the sideline all by himself. Yeah.
Okay.
He was my cousin. His name was Tim McCready. He wore number 24. Played from 78 to 80. Freshmen couldn't play back then. They weren't eligible to play. So he was a freshman in 76, and he redshirted in 77, and he played 78 through 80.
I love that. High Mountain Guy says, I didn't get along with him in college, to be honest, but the fact that nobody has even said Tommy Frazier out loud yet is ridiculous. It's not that, I mean, I'm sure we have people who...
Tommy said everybody thinks about that 75-yard run against Florida.
Yes.
But that was against a team that was desperate, trying to strip the ball and beaten down. It really, and Tommy himself said that wasn't his greatest play. He said his greatest play, and I remember it when it happened, but I can't tell you who it was against. But he was going back to pass, and he was drifting off to the right, and a guy hit him, and he just ignored it. I mean, he should have tackled him right there, but he just kind of pushed him over a little bit, and he was still straight upright, so he threw a pass. It was weird. It was like a video game type of thing where the guy should have tackled him, but he just couldn't. It was a bizarre play. I wish I could tell you exactly which one that was, but I remember the play. I just can't remember. my memory, not what it was. I guess I can't remember
I
exactly.
know.
The spring game, yeah, that was definitely the most memorable spring game moment. Was Jack Hoffman's run?
Yes. Yes. And James Boardman points out that wait until Greg reads his list. You get Tommy. Yes, I did see your list. Your list was very good, and I have the images for you put together because we can't show. I don't think we're supposed to show any video.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about.
I did because Husker Chuck told me to.
I thought you'd get away with a few seconds at least.
It was more than a few seconds. Jeez. Oh well. Once in a while I figure that
they haven't cut us off, so we're won't do that again.
Well, Husker Chuck, I have to say thank you so much for joining me.
Glad to be on the show.
I do have my regular co-host here now.
All right, Greg, here's the baton. I filled in for you.
Get on here.
I know the check will be in the mail. Hey.
Thanks, Husker Chuck. Appreciate you.
You look well rested.
I'm not. Well done.
Yes.
Hold on. Let me do this. The tip of the cap to you, sir. Appreciate you being here, and
you're most welcome. You may nudge me off.
Keep the chair warm. So
okay. I'm nudging by kicking you out. See you later. Okay.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to a brand new 5-part podcast.
I already said that. You don't get it. No. You don't get it.
No, you said Monday Night Therapy.
Did I really?
Yes. So let us welcome the good people
to
the 5-Heart Podcast live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on X. I'm tardy, but I'm here. Greg Mahochko holding down the fort, doing a great job right over here. Minnie Hunt. Thank you all. Your patience knows no bounds. And yeah, good times. Sorry I'm late, everybody.
Yeah, why are you late, Greg?
I was working.
Are you building walls like Husker Chuck?
No, I was taking care of my clients, making money, or hoping to make money. So
I know you did say you might be late tonight. I just wasn't expecting you to be that late. And I really thought if you know you're going to be late ahead of time, you can rearrange things to not be late.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's how that works.
Really?
I did my best.
Okay.
I did my best.
Well, that's
took
fine.
Took care of some business tonight. Hopefully set up some future business.
Good. I do have, I have James Boardman's ready to go. And then once you do his, then I'll start adding Joe's.
All right.
And I'm still going to do mine, by the way.
Okay. I believe you.
I don't have pictures, but I have, you guys will get it.
Okay. All right. Are we just jumping into James? Mount Rushmore plays?
1, 2, 3. I have only 3 showing. Okay. Yep. I'll grab one more for you.
Okay. So for James, his Mount Rushmore plays, it says every list should start with Johnny Rodgers 72-yard punt return versus Oklahoma.
Do you see it? Okay.
Pretty sure, right? Yeah,
mm-hmm.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Then he has, as we alluded to moments ago, so I was listening to the entire show. We had Tommy Frazier's 75-yard touchdown run versus Florida, the numerous tackles that were broken.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. Hello?
I'm waiting for the picture so I can
of what?
Tommy Frazier.
Okay.
In a run.
I have it right here.
It's not loaded.
I know. I think I must have named it something else.
Tell you what, while you do that, let's play our favorite Thursday night game.
Is it-
What's
is-
Greg drinking today? What's Greg drinking today? Whoa.
That's not it.
That's not it at all.
I know. Oh, I forgot to. No.
Yingling Light is the beverage so far. We've got more here. And since I'm late, I feel like I'm going to be drinking quickly tonight. So this was a gift. I normally don't drink light beer, but this Yingling Light's pretty good.
You should drink light beer.
Wow. Well, maybe I just won't drink it all then. Wow. Anyway, that's right. There it is, Fred. Greg's drinking Yingling Light so he can be less fat.
Oh.
Are you going to upload this Tommy Frazier picture or what's going on?
I think it's really small. I think that's what the problem is.
All right.
But yes, I'll do it right now. I'm on it. Yeah, it's really small. You guys
Awkward.
get your goggles out. Your binoculars out.
Awkward, like an awkward Wimbledon. Kaylee, that one's going to need some more explanation. All right. Here's the run. It's pixelated. We know what's going on. It's fine.
Sorry, guys.
I mean, it took us that long just to get that picture, so let's move on. The next one he has.
I tried.
This one has popped up a few times. In fact, I think it was number 1 on Husker Chuck's list. Alex Henry's 57-yard field goal against Colorado in 2008. I'm going to drop this down a little bit. The game winner, the context that was behind that Husker Chuck gave, down 31, 33-31 or 31-30, something like that, needing this field goal, which, by the way, set a record that still stands, I'm pretty sure, for length of a Nebraska field goal, 57 yards. So Alex Henry on the James Boardman list. And last but not least on the James Boardman list, I heard this one also, is no, it's not.
What?
There we go.
Did I name it
The
wrong?
touchdown run at the spring game of Jack Hoffman. Started running the wrong direction, and quarterback Taylor Martinez had to guide him, say, no, this is the way you want to go. I've never seen defenders block themselves out of the play, but that's exactly what happened.
That's so cute.
It's really, such a great memory. And, just, I think we've known that Nebraska's trendsetters, from their strength and conditioning program, but this was like the first time that I remember hearing of a football program, bringing in something special like this, for their spring game and making it memorable for not just Jack and his family, but, whenever I watch that clip, I still get chills. It's such a life's bigger than sports, and I think sometimes we forget about that. So that's
love that, Greg. You could say that again.
Life's bigger than sports.
Yeah.
Life is bigger than sports.
We forget that sometimes.
Oh, for sure. Now, gosh dang, what the Hoffman family's been through, in the last few years is
They've lost both the dad and
Andy and Jack. Yeah. So, this is something though, talk about once a Husker, always a Husker. This is something that will always be, in Nebraska lore, What a moment for these players as maybe at the time some of them thought it was silly. I would hope not, but it's just, something special. something that should be celebrated. So
I agree. Great play. Good call.
Joe's accurate, 100% right. Bo holding up the cat in the tunnel walk was the following year, and that was courtesy of the Twitter account Faux Polini. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right. Whoop. All right, so where are we going to next, Minnie?
You may do Joel Lileikis's if you want. I've got 2 there ready to go. And I'll do the other 2 right now.
All righty.
They may be pixelated, you guys. I apologize if they are. But he has great, he has great descriptions on his.
So for Joe, he said, he was going to stick with plays that had a significant impact on the game or season. Won't see any of the long 70-plus yard runs because in the 70s, 80s, and early mid-90s was not only commonplace but a fan expectation when the handoff was made. So we have more specific moments here. You know what? We've got time. Let's hit up Joe's honorable mentions. He mentions the kick, which is Alex Henry's 57-yard field goal in the 2008 Colorado game. The hit, John Root imploding Oklahoma's Kelly Phelps in the 78 Oklahoma game at Nebraska. The fumble that was never called, which I know we've talked about, or you all have talked about. Mm-hmm. Later in that same game, the fourth quarter, when Oklahoma threatened to score, Jeff Hansen caused Billy Sims to fumble at the 3, which secured Tom Osborne's first win over Switcher's Oklahoma team. And then he has the game ball going to Roy Halou Jr. for his 307-yard, 3-touchdown rushing game against Missouri in 2010. Minnie, unpack that in your brain. 307 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns.
Okay. Here's the deal. I can do one thing at a time really well. And this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to add his pictures so you have them.
Okay. I really didn't need you to do anything other than just contemplate 307 yards rushing in a game.
Okay. I pulled myself out of that mindset. Now I'm there. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that to my attention.
It's what I do. He averaged over 75 yards per quarter in that game because that's how math works. Roger says any Halou run. He was magical, man. Like I don't know why it didn't work out for him at the next level. But he's, it's not isolated, for him. Some players just better college football players than pro football players. But yeah. All right. So let us start with the list. And the first one that Joe Lileikis mentions is the flea kicker. We all know 1997 Nebraska at Missouri. 4th and goal. Frost hits Seven Williams in the chest, but instead of catching it, the ball rolls down. Initially kicked by a Tiger player before Wiggins kicks it up for Matt Davison to make a diving catch. Not only does Nebraska win the game in overtime, then the national championship, but it put Davison on the radar, and his future and legacy with the Huskers is established. I believe it is. Let's see if I can hear it. I don't think that's the right picture, but at least that's the right game.
Who? That's Frost.
Yeah.
That's who you were talking about.
Yeah, right. But it would have been Matt Davison who actually came down with the ball. All good. All good. Not a big deal. We're going to move on to the next one. And
what happens when you give me homework?
This is true. We have 1971 Orange Bowl against LSU, where Jerry Taggy on 4th and goal stretches his arms with the football across the end zone to give Nebraska the 17-12 win and a national championship repeat. It's called the Reach, Minnie.
This one, I know. It is pixelated. No. Yes, okay. That one. I kept looking for the picture. most of them are black and white, so we're lucky to have a color picture here. But him just like reaching with the ball over and scoring a touchdown. That was pretty awesome. Reading about that. That was a good one. Good one.
And next up from Mr. Lileikis, the 1984 Orange Bowl versus Miami. Dean Steinkühler picks up the intentionally fumbled ball, romps 11 or 12 yards in for the touchdown, plowing over a Miami defender at the end to score, bringing the Huskers back from a 10-point deficit. The following year, the play is banned by the NCAA. It is known as, and I've heard it earlier in the show, the Fumble-Rooski. Not it.
It's the game. It was the game.
I feel like...
Did I get the wrong game even?
No, you're fine.
No,
There's Joe did the work for us. Like, he sent us the pictures.
I didn't realize that. See, because I did James first and
Which is
his were
crazy,
videos.
I totally told you that, hey, Joe did the work for us, but whatever.
Did you tell me that?
Yes, I did. I said you don't even have to think about it because Joe included pictures.
I'm just still on vacation. So
okay.
Vacation mind. Every day I'm waking up at 5 a.m.
That's unfortunate.
Because I'm still on a different time zone.
By the way, Joe has a suggestion for another Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore of all Husker sports individuals. So extending beyond football.
Say that one more time. What was it?
Mount Rushmore of Huskers from all sports, not just football. Which I think is a good idea.
We'll let Andy do that one. Okay. Please.
Wow. Sorry, Joe. I thought it was a great idea, but
it is a good idea.
You got vetoed by.
Oh, look at how many problems I'm having doing just this.
Fred asked, "Did Satterfield hack your play calling, Minnie?"
He did. We're not on the same page.
Who's not?
Satterfield, when he was doing his play calls.
Oh, I mean, are you saying that you and I are not on the same page?
No, I'm saying Satterfield.
Gotcha. Okay.
I do. I just opened one. Thank you very much.
What's Minnie drinking today? What's Minnie drinking today? Cheers.
Cheers.
All right.
Cheers in the off season. Cheers in kids' summer vacations.
All right, so that's James and Joe.
Cheers in off-season talk.
Cheers on keeping this show going when it's quite literally the summer doldrums. So,
hey, we have some exciting things to talk about. I still have my Mount Rushmore.
Oh well, let's do it.
Nope, it's your turn.
Nope.
No. Because I am the best fan.
Wait a minute.
I just gave myself that.
Hold on. We missed one.
Who?
We only got 3 of 4 for Joe. We missed the strip. 2011, Nebraska, Ohio State. Levante David strips Braxton Miller of the football, which is the spark that ignites the Huskers' 24-point comeback win.
Yes. James, I love that you sent yours in. Joe Lileikis says, what I loved about how he sent his in is every single one of his plays had like a name to it. The Fumble-Rooski, the Flea Flicker, the
Flea Kicker.
Flea Flicker.
Flea Kicker.
It's the Flea Kicker?
Yeah, because it came off of his foot.
Oh, didn't know that. Okay. And the reach and the strip.
I'm sorry, everybody. I hope y'all appreciate it. I'm doing the best I can with what I have to work with.
You know what? You have to be nice to me. You weren't here.
No, you're right. I was out doing my actual job.
Stop giving me an excuse and just apologize.
I'm sorry.
That does not sound sincere. That's like a question mark. I'm sorry. When it goes up at the end, that is definitely a question.
All right. Well, I also have some plays in mind.
Okay.
Let me get mine uploaded. Minnie, that'd be a great time for you to clear out some of the old images.
Doing that, I don't need.
Why are you taking the ones out that I'm putting them on?
I'm not.
Okay. Also, here's the difficulty. I rename the files. I'm the only one who renames files so that I know exactly what I'm looking at and looking for. Not saying it's the way it should be done. I'm just saying it's the way I'm doing it. Everybody gets to do it their own way, I suppose. Last one to upload. All right. So I have elements of this that are legitimately, well, let's knock out the one that's already been mentioned. And it is the kick, right? Not much more needs to be said about it. When I thought of, I've been a fan just shy of 20 years, so I can't go back to the 90s, 80s, 70s, etc. Flea kicker doesn't do anything to me. The run, fumble rooski, I don't have access to those in my fandom. But I watched this game. I wasn't there, but I watched it on TV. And this one is cemented in me. First of all, the significance of it, you want to beat the rival. You set the record for longest field goal, and it's the walk-off field goal that Nebraska's been burned by on Black Friday of all days, a few times. So I went with this. Somehow, I don't know how or why Alex Henry didn't have a more substantial NFL career, but I'm grateful for the efforts that he gave to Nebraska, and that's why starting off my list is the kick. And we'll move on to, since this game has been mentioned already, I'm going to go to a different part of the game. And, I have notes, actually. Saturday, October 8th, 2011. It was 2nd and 6 from Ohio State's 37-yard line with 6:29 left in the game. The game was tied at 27. And this is when Stanley Jean-Baptiste intercepts Joe Bauserman at Nebraska's 22-yard line. Nebraska would score on the following drive when Rex Burkhead has the game-winning 13 or 17-yard touchdown. It's the largest comeback in Nebraska history, and it got sparked, yes, as Joe said, with the strip, Levante David. It got finalized with Stanley Jean-Baptiste's interception. There were, I don't want to qualify this too much. There were a lot of reasons why Nebraska was ranked in this game and Ohio State was not. One was this is the first season without Jim Tressel. They had an interim coach who happened to be Luke Fickell at the time. And then Braxton Miller got hurt in this game, and they had to go to the bench. And that's when Joe Bauserman stepped in. And then, there's a famous Paul Dalen who used to be kind of a regular here on Thursday nights, has he created the.
I remember him. Yep.
Yes. He had the infamous Joe Bauserman throwing chart graphic that he created, and it, had the hits and misses on the field, but it had some that ended up in the stands. It's a really comical piece. But yeah, for me, it all started with this interception. Not a great night for Joe Bauserman. Pretty good night for Stanley Jean-Baptiste. So Charles Houellette knows all about the Bauserman throwing chart. Yes, it is legendary. All right, so that brings us to the next one, which is January 1st. Minnie, this would be, I think, as close as we've gotten to your fandom years. January 1st, 2014. It's the TaxSlayer.com Gator Bowl, Nebraska versus Georgia. Nebraska leading 17-12 in the third quarter. It's 3rd and 14 from the Nebraska 1-yard line. Tommy Armstrong finds Quincy Enunwa, and it's a 99-yard touchdown. Huskers go up 24-12 and hold on to it for a 24-19 victory. I love this game. I love this play. I don't love the two directions that the teams went, after this game, with Georgia going on to compete and win national championships and Nebraska not. But it's a 99-yard touchdown pass. Obviously set a record for touchdown pass. So arm punt. Tommy arm so strong. It was and most of the work, oddly enough, was done by Quincy on this play. I think the throw itself only went about, I have to check, maybe 40 yards. Like, he caught it on the Nebraska side of the 50 and bounced off a defender and then just outran the rest of the Bulldogs. So fantastic play.
That looks like there's snow in the air.
It was rainy.
Was it rain?
It was rainy because it was down in Florida.
It looks just cold anyways.
Yeah, No. Rainy on January 1st, I'd imagine anywhere would probably be a little chilly, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, and then last but not least, this one probably doesn't make anybody else's list, but seeing as how I was there and how it energized the fans, and I think fully exemplified who was in control, I've got Tommy Hill's pick 6 last year against Colorado.
Oh, very nice, Greg.
So,
look at you pulling out something from recent memory.
I'm trying. Awesome. So that's my 4. That's my Mount Rushmore.
I think you should have gone with somebody getting their arm broken.
No.
Okay.
No. That'd be equal to like selecting somebody who slides 2 yards before
That's
the marker.
Not equal to that. No. That's not even the same thing at all.
Blaine Cole wants to know if you're a Gen Zer.
Thank you, Blaine Cole. I am not. I'm an alpha generation. What are my kids? They're telling me what the new generations are. I'm alpha, mommy.
Charles Hulett with a great one. This is right up there with Jack Hoffman, and it's going out to the field minus the punter right after the first game, the first punt after Sam Foltz. So
good.
And then
Charles. And
I'll say this, kudos to the opposition. I can't remember who it was we played in week 1, but they declined the penalty, so classy on their part as well.
Yeah. It's a whole lot of class.
All right, Minnie, those are my 4. Let me clear out the graphics. So
I don't have images, Greg, because what I have to share is more of memories. Because, it's in recent memory. And I know some people are old like you that need help with pictures. You don't need...
Here, Shunny. Here.
You don't need pictures for this, okay? And for this reading, I'm going to wear my crown as the best Husker fan of all time. Okay.
Well, that's quite the... I don't know.
It's the truth. Find somebody better. Find somebody who becomes a fan and sticks with it for a decade. while you're losing. And that's all you do. And sits around and gets poked. Oh, she's a newbie. Oh, let's make fun of her. She doesn't know anything.
I think Vince is more accurate. Best Husker stalker of all time.
Maybe. Yeah.
Fred says, Minnie says Greg needs help with pictures. Proceeds to give us Sega Genesis level images.
I didn't say he needed help. Did I?
Yeah, you said us old people, we need help remembering things. That's why we have the graphics.
That is true. Okay.
Well, here's the thing. In its original form, this was a purely audio show. But now we have the ability to show people things.
Did you see that Husker Chuck made me show video?
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. It was his fault. Okay.
I'll tell
so,
you.
My first one that I'm going to put on my Mount Rushmore of Husker plays is, I think, the first game that I may have attended. It was a homecoming game. It was against Indiana, and maybe it was like 2021, something like that. We won, and maybe it was 2019, but to my recollection, it was 2019. To my recollection, I think it was the first time that we did the third quarter with the red lights at night, and the all the fire, the pyro stuff. That was
that the let me clear my throat?
I have no idea.
Oh, you don't remember the song that was playing?
No, it was the song that always plays, the third quarter
Thunderstruck?
song. Yes.
They weren't doing Thunderstruck 6 years ago. In 2019, Nebraska, Indiana was not homecoming.
Okay, what year was it?
I mean,
I have a bad memory. Is it 2021?
Homecoming in 2019 was Northwestern.
Oh, I think I did see that game. I wouldn't say it was the Indiana game, though.
We didn't play Indiana in 2021. I don't know what game you're thinking of.
Okay, it was an Indiana game. I know it.
All right. It might have been 2019. It just wasn't homecoming.
Okay.
And by the way, did we lose it?
No.
Okay, that wasn't 2019.
Them. Greg. This is so bad. I have no idea. It could have been in 20...
Wasn't 2020. We know that.
Was it 2018?
No, I just looked at 2018 and didn't play Indiana.
Okay, was it 20... Who did we play in
Was it 2017?
2017?
No, it wasn't. Was it? Well, who was the head coach? Was it Scott Frost or Mike Riley?
Scott Frost.
Sorry, folks. Park's closed. The moose out front should have told you.
But I remember the
2020
video.
2022, we played Iowa on homecoming Saturday, October 1st, 135-21.
That was not it.
Okay. Well, then I don't know. Is it Indiana game? We won.
Maybe it was Northwestern. That sounds right.
Were they purple or were they maroon?
I can't remember. It's too long ago. Okay. I'm not like you guys. I don't remember things like that. I just remember like the fireworks and things like that. It was
so what was
fun.
What was the play then?
It was a homecoming game. It's the third quarter fireworks between third and fourth quarter. Jeez.
We're talking about plays.
That is a play. This is Nebraska that we're talking about, okay? This is what made me a fan.
Oh my good Lord. Oh, why did I
hang in there?
I drove past the speed limit for this.
That's on you, Greg. Okay, number 2 is when Dylan committed to Nebraska.
Oh, jeez.
Number 3 is Rule's halftime speech. If we die, we die. So good. It's so good that you reenacted it, Greg. And number 4, winning a bowl game. That's pretty awesome.
You don't have one play.
I can't go against these plays that you guys are naming.
Sure you can.
No, I can't. No, and I won't. I won't do that.
I picked a play from 2024.
That's surprising.
There in the last decade, there are plenty of plays.
But every time I name a play like what I think is really exciting, you guys are like, yeah, she thinks that's good football. I didn't want to hear it this time. Okay.
Nebraska Strong says, Minnie Hunt, my favorite Husker play was the fireworks.
Jeez.
Fred says, I'm being honest, there isn't enough Blue Chew to raise this bid. Oh,
Guys.
I think what we're seeing, we're gonna allow you a do-over. And we're gonna give you a whole
not
week.
doing a do-over. I was going to really name some plays, but as I started naming them, I'm like, I can just hear the naysayers now.
Are you looking at the comments?
No, I'm not.
All right, here we go.
Not.
Hit. The Balloons are my favorite players. Roger Moore says Greg may retire tonight.
You guys are awful.
Fred says, now look what you did. You guys broke Charles. Charles is broken. Commitments aren't plays. James says the game was so boring she got distracted by finding objects.
That is so not true, James. Ugh.
I think you're now look.
I'm sorry you guys don't agree with it. That's how I see it. Okay. These are like very momentous occasions at the very least.
Pitt says Minnie gets summer schooled. Try harder.
Thanks, Pitt.
Even Mark's in here saying Minnie's favorite play, the coin flip.
Why is he giving me a hard time?
Because the whole point is like plays. And you didn't pick a play.
Okay. If you guys get to pick Jack Hoffman in a spring game, I think I get this. You have to put into context, Greg. This is what I'm saying. These are like my highlights that I have to go off of.
We've won games in the last 10 years.
Very little.
It's okay. Like,
yeah. I mean, I had Mount Rushmore players. Remember? I did that. I played along with that.
High Mountain Guy says, Minnie, stroke your hair if you're super drunk.
I'm not. But you guys seriously make me want to drink.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm surprised you didn't say the drone show at the Colorado game.
That was good. That was really good. There were so many drones doing that. I forget how many they said. Like,
we're gonna get stats next week. It's like, guys, did you hear? We got a 5-star drone show coming in. Super pumped.
Okay, do you seriously want to know? My very first game, I'm taking video of the baton twirler. I still have it. It was a great event. And I love I do love baton twirlers. Especially, I think she was twirling fire. That's skill.
Jimmy McNutty says, I feel like Greg's knowledge of Husker football starts in 09 and Minnie's in 2019. Sir, 06.
Jimmy McNutty, you did not tell me when you became a fan. I would love to know.
I'm going to guess. Matt Rule, yelling shirt, obviously young enough to be tech savvy. Looks like
He's
was able to Photoshop out the background. I'm going to say
maybe he has a kid that did it for him, because my kid's good.
I'm going to say 37. Oh, missed it. 1983. I said I'm at age 37, not 1937. So 1980.
So you and him are like the same age, practically.
Well, I don't know. That's depending. If he came out of the womb screaming "Go Big Red," he might have been like 10 years old. Hard to say.
Oh, is that when? Oh, that's when he became a fan.
I'm
was a fan in the 80s. And yeah, so that makes sense. What I said makes sense, you guys. You realize that all of you guys only became fans because we were winning. Do you know that?
That's not fair to say.
It's
some of them. No, some of them became fans. They're born the day Nebraska beat Texas Tech in the 1976 Astro Bluebonnet Bowl.
There you go. There you go.
But here's the thing. It's not fair to say that they're fans just because Nebraska was winning.
How about you become a fan?
Let me see. And I'll clarify that. No, hold on.
7. That's what Mark reminded me what the score was of the game that I actually became a fan of. It was 63. We lost 3-7. Could you imagine becoming a fan? What kind of insanity is that?
But I'm saying, I think that there's an added element to many of our Holgormaniac. I don't think they just like stumbled across a winning program. Be like, I'm going to go jump on that bandwagon. Okay, many of them, probably most of them, geographically convenient for them to cheer for the Huskers. Like they're in state. Nebraska was on their TVs, on their radios. They weren't finding them like this is before the internet. Sorry, old people. They weren't finding them like clips on the internet and be like, oh, that's cool. I'm going to become a fan of that. No, it's tradition. It's family. It's generational. It's passed down. So to say that they were becoming Husker fans just because Nebraska was winning, I think is unfair.
You're right, Greg. Let me take back my words and say, you guys also had somebody to pass it down from to you. I don't have any of that. You guys are passing it down to me. That's it.
We're her Husker parents, everybody.
That's it. So be nice to me. Don't.
Blaine Cole's been a fan since Bill Jennings was head coach. Blake asked me, Greg, you remember the fumble against Texas after getting the first down to clinch the snow game? Or Texas Tech game-winning interception to fumble back in the same play. I remember the snow game. I don't remember the Texas Tech debacle. Sorry to break your heart on that one.
Texas Tech is joining the Big 12, I heard.
Texas Tech's always been in the Big 12.
Well,
not always, I guess, from the Southwest Conference.
Thought I read something recently. Oh, you're right. Who is it that's joining the Big 12 recently?
I don't know. Kaylee's saying the quiet part out loud, or actually I made it out loud. Kay said also where we grew up and our parents and the exposure, aside from all that, sure, just the winning, I guess. Was born into us.
Yeah, because he was raised in South Dakota.
Born and raised to be Husker fans.
Yep. I admire that. I mean, I'm not knocking it. It may sound like I'm knocking it. I'm not. I admire it. I think you guys are.
Pitt says my parents would have stopped feeding me if I wasn't a Husker fan. Charles, we were born into it, molded by it. They didn't see. I don't know. Never mind. That fell apart. Sorry, Charles. I know where you're trying to go. Born in darkness, molded by it.
You know.
It's from The Dark Knight Rises. You probably haven't seen that movie.
Yes, I have. I actually love that movie.
Andy Harris is checking in from beautiful Idaho. Sweet.
What's he doing up there?
I've been to Idaho.
Andy is an Arizonan.
Oh, well, not tonight. Now he's an Idahoan. Running with it. Somebody's got to set her straight on this one. Anytime she gets out of line, she's got a little guidance back.
Scott, I have your number.
Lakeven Smith. It's a good name from about 20-ish years ago. Let's see. Sam Sanchez chiming in. Not chiming in, I don't mean that dismissively, but Husker fans since 77, Eric Crouch's 95-yard touchdown run against Mizzou in 01 is on the list. Agree.
95-yard touchdown run?
Yes, that's what it says.
Hmm.
It's a hell of a scamper. I encourage you to look it up sometime. Not now. We're not going to play it. We can only get away with those so many times. The voice of college football, Minnie, is thinking of Texas State joining the pack.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Thank you very much. Yeah, Texas Tech is Joey McGuire, which is our old wide receivers coach's dad. They have a heck of a team. And anyways, I'm always surprised. Here's the thing that surprises me about football. You know, you think that these things are separate, like people are separate and teams are separate, but they're all like kind of combined, like they're all intertwined. It's a small world. Were you laughing at me, Greg?
No, I was laughing at Fred.
What do you say?
Minnie saw Dark Knight Rises. Favorite part was the credits. It's on her Mount Rushmore. I laugh again.
Fred, remember how I was saying all those nice things to you at the beginning of the show? Remember that.
Jimmy McNutty says this podcast lacks some serious institutional knowledge of Husker/college football. I agree.
That's what you're here for.
Who, me?
No, him.
Oh.
And Husker Chuck and James Boardman and Joe Lileikis.
Basically all the people who are not actually.
Yeah. But you know what, Greg? What's wonderful about us is you know a heck of a lot more than I do. And we're always willing to learn. But you've heard about most of this because you've been around it way longer than me.
I'm an old person.
I like what Pitt says. Oh, you clicked on that before I did. How he calls us a Husker playground. Yeah, play nice.
Plenty of more intense shows. Here's the thing. I feel like when it's not the end of June, we are a little bit more serious.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Right now, it's just like, And again, on the audio version years back, this might have been even pre-COVID. I'd have to go back and look in the archives. But Hoss and I did some shows where it was like, again, top 5 Huskers, top 5 Husker play. Like basically what we're doing now is just 5 options instead of Mount Rushmoreing at 4. So, the off season is a hell of a time.
We did this last year too.
Probably.
No, Greg. We did. Because I came to you in March of last year. I said, Greg, we need to start thinking of off-season topics. And I said, how about we do the best Husker bonehead plays? Because that, you guys, I have a whole list of.
Yeah, because in the last decade, that's been most of what it's been.
And you're like, let's not make it negative, Minnie.
Yeah, I mean, do you look at these Holgormaniacs over here? Do any of them really skew negative? I don't think so.
You were just afraid if I fueled the fire, what would happen?
Oh my gosh, Rome would burn.
Well, we've learned what not to do. That's all I know.
Jimmy McNutty says, next week's topic, what's your favorite losing season? Was it 04, 07, 2015, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023?
Jimmy McNutty has it out for us. I think my favorite losing season would have been, yeah, definitely the last one, 2023, because I didn't think it could get any worse. I'm like, okay, here we have scandals. We have like just gut wrenching. I remember like most Saturday nights going to bed crying. It was not a good season. There was hope, then there was despair. And then there was hope and a lot of despair.
You know what 2023 needed?
Hmm.
More Heinrich Harburg, less of everybody else. You know what
This is true.
2024 needed? More Heinrich Harburg, less of everybody else. You know what 2025 is going to need?
Dare say it. You know what? I hope he's a star this year. I do. I hope he is. And don't you dare say he's going to be that as a quarterback, because we all know he's not. He's not even listed as that on the roster, Greg.
It's true. Jimmy McNutty's on. Nebraska wins 9 games that year if Eric Gilbert doesn't decide to steal vape inventory at 2
Not just
a.m.
once. He did it twice.
Yeah, once in Lincoln and once back home. So
What the heck?
So.
We also had a DUI from an assistant coach on. He never got to coach at Nebraska before the game. And these things, you cannot make this up. We had the craziest season of things just happening, just like out of left field.
And sometimes right field.
Mm.
Fred says Harburg would have gotten us a few more W's last year. It's true.
I'm not even falling for it anymore.
And I'll tell you why. He would lower his shoulder and run into somebody rather than sliding 2 yards short of the marker.
Yeah. How about his throws?
They're fine. Good enough. If not, he'd mobile enough to move the ball downfield like he did in 2023.
Yeah. A running quarterback. That's what we had in 2023. Yep.
He was dual threat. Dual threats the word.
2022. That's the year I was thinking of. Yep.
I have never watched The Wire, Pit. I'm sorry.
Neither have I, but you already knew that. That's why you didn't ask me. I didn't watch.
I don't even know what The Wire is about. Haas is here, says Nebraska beats Iowa if Heinrich Harburger is healthy against the Ferentz family in 2023. So I agree. We had to leave that to. Oh crap! I can't even remember his name now.
2023. Let's see. It was
the third string quarterback.
Longville or Chubba Purdy. Purdy. Poor Chubba Purdy. What happened to him?
Elsewhere.
I know. He was going to San Diego State or something. And I haven't heard anything about him.
That's right. He's not a Husker anymore, so I don't really.
Arizona.
Huh?
He's from Arizona.
Okay. Now at Nevada per Haas. But again, not a Husker, not a priority, not a concern. Don't care.
At UNLV?
No, just Nevada.
What do you- oh,
Are you Greggling?
I was going to.
Do it. Go ahead, Greggle. Greggle right now.
Okay.
Nevada Wolfpack quarterback, Jumbo
Hey.
Purdy.
Back off. Yeah. He's the top quarterback. Good for him. Nice, Fred.
Aaron Rostovsky's in the house. We can ask him the question. I bet you he'll give
Okay.
better answers
Aaron?
than third quarter pyrotechnics and the commitment of Dylan Raiola.
Again, like you said, it's been passed down from generation to generation. He lives in Nebraska, and
Sure.
he's been a fan a lot longer
Sure.
than me. So I'm sure right off the top of his head, he can think of 4.
All right, Mr. Rostovsky, here's what we're talking about tonight. Your Mount Rushmore of Husker football plays. They have to be within the parameters of your fandom. So I know you're not old enough to have been around for the return, so you can't claim the return.
30, he's like 30 something.
Yeah,
so
but that's
he's limited. I mean, he's even younger than you. So he's going to be born in the
even
90s.
younger than me.
Well,
Am I young all of a sudden? I guess I've forgotten how old I'm supposed to be on this show.
should we decide? I say you're 80.
I'm not 80.
But you act 80.
Oh, Pitt says to Rostovsky, Brutus, Minnie says you're a shit Husker fan.
Compared to me. That's all I'm saying. Just compared to me, okay? You blend with the rest of them.
Rostovsky says, only been a fan of NU since 05. That's half my life. All right, so
Okay, 'cause
about
he
the same
switched
amount of
over.
time as me, realistically.
Yeah, he switched over. He used to be a fan of,
Creighton football?
was it Creighton? Was it Creighton? No way.
No, because
Doesn't
Creighton doesn't have football. That's the joke.
Oh, okay. Who was it? No, he was a fan of another team, and then he's like, he decided, no, I don't like them. I forget who he said.
I don't know.
It was significant because it's like I want to say it was a rival, even. Maybe it was Oklahoma.
Maybe it was Oklahoma. Oh, Miami.
Miami. That's right.
And he still likes them. Boo. Boo, that man. Sam Sanchez want to know if Black 41 Flash Reverse Pass was on the list. He joined the show a little late. I don't think anybody has that one. It was number 5 on Fred's list.
What was it called again?
Black 41 Flash Reverse Pass. We used it against the Sooners. It was one of the signature plays of Eric Crouch's Heisman season when Nebraska and Frank Solich beat Oklahoma and Bob Stoops.
Jeez. Beautiful. Good call.
The Huskers line up in a formation they used twice already that ended with Crouch pitching the ball to Ibeck Thunder Collins for a run. Familiar with the formation, Oklahoma's safeties were baited to come forward to stop the run. This time, however, Crouch pitched the ball to Collins, who then pitched a reverse to split end Mike Stuntz, a true freshman who'd been a quarterback in high school but had seen limited playing time at Nebraska. Meanwhile, Crouch sprinted downfield to become a receiver as Stuntz threw him the ball. Crouch made the catch at the Oklahoma 40 and ran untouched to the end zone for a 63-yard touchdown.
63-yard touchdown. This is what I hope to see a lot of this season. Plays like that. Yeah.
Rostovsky's going to have 5 minutes, and then he'll have his assignment done. Well, again, if you don't mention Dylan Raiola, you're already going to score higher than Minnie.
There are not scores, Greg. And if there were, again, how can you go against
how can we penalize the greatest Husker fan there's ever been?
Yes. Yes. This is not a joke, people. I seriously believe this with all my heart because I don't have anything to go off of. Any like winningness to be like, yeah, I remember the good old days. Maybe that's a good thing, though.
Only, you know what? It's.
I feel bad for the kids in college these days. Because yeah, I'm right there with them. It's like, what is this?
Pitt says there damn well is a score, minus 37.46, Minnie.
Minus.
And Pitt keeps track of all the pluses and the points awarded. So
I know. Dang. I wasn't fortunate enough to be born into it like you guys. Okay. Are you gonna knock a girl from the other side of the tracks?
Sounds like it.
I guess. Jeez.
All right.
Like that.
While Mr. Rostovsky is getting his homework done, let's take a look at some of these starred comments. By the way, we have some PoliJam. I don't know if this one got mentioned. Says nope. Corey Schlesinger's second touchdown versus Miami in the 1995 Orange Bowl. Yep, the flea kicker versus Missouri in 1997. Mm-hmm. The Alex Henry's 57-yard field goal versus Colorado in 2008. And the Hail Mary by George Washington.
Nobody mentioned this one. Go ahead, finish. Just letting you know. The others had been mentioned. The Hail Mary catch by Westerkamp in 2013 versus Northwestern.
Yep, that's what I was trying to say.
I'm not going to apologize. You were late.
That's fine. Good list, PoliJam, if you're still around. By the way, this whole topic was PoliJam's idea / fault, so you can blame PoliJam.
Yeah. Maybe it'll inspire a song.
Maybe. I think what I'm really thinking you want to happen is for them to write a song about you.
No, I want the greatest fan, Nebraska fan of all time.
All right. Let's see. Nebraska Rascal appreciated the other side of the tracks, as did I. Pitt's going to scratch our scores into the wall, making it our permanent record. And then Fred needs to know his score. He needs validation. I'm sure it's in the plus territory. I just don't know much. And Pitt also awards 20 points to PoliJam. Giggled my ass off all evening. All right, let's see here. Mr. Rostovsky says the first is the punterless punt formation. Then there's Levante stealing the ball from Braxton Miller. Kenny Bell's overtime touchdown at Iowa just before the Pelini firing. And last but not least, Sue stiff arming Hawkins to the fucking turf. So a few of those got mentioned. Not Kenny, and I'm surprised nobody mentioned the Kenny Bell block in the Big Ten tournament, but probably because, or Big Ten championship, but probably because of the game in which it occurred, that nobody really wants to go back and relive that one. So
That's fair.
Roger Moore says, "You're so vain, you probably think the song is about you."
It's a good song.
Fred says, PoliJam's next song, Minnie's favorite Husker fireworks and the women who loved them. And the scores are kept classified. I think. Pick, can you email me like at least a ranking? I don't need to know scores, just like curious about the ranking of the Holgormaniacs.
The Who?
Oh, Charles Hewlett did mention Bell's Block. I apologize, Charles.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Greg, the Who are maniacs?
What'd I say?
What did you say?
Did I not say Holgormaniacs? That's you, everybody.
I always feel like Beavis and Butthead after that last part where it's just like...
Let's see. Rostovsky says, honorable mention to the T-Magic run in the Big Ten title game. The other ones I was in the stadium for. And the pick six against Shittier Sanders was pretty great. I mentioned that one. Me. This guy.
It was. It actually was. That's probably what dropped him so low into the draft. That and his attitude.
Yeah. Because he's a bitch.
Wow.
High Mountain Guy says, brought up the Sioux interception in the first 10 minutes. Do I get a raise or a promotion? And Pitt awards 15 points.
We do need to have some sort of like at least acknowledgement. I mean, let's be honest. Every interest of ours has some sort of award ceremony. We ought to have some sort of award ceremony, whether it be the Five Heart Theater, Actors Award, Best Actor, Best Screenwriter.
Who's winning those awards?
Best beard wear.
Best beard wear, maybe. I don't know. I think my wear. Anyway.
Are we gonna have Best Holgormaniac?
Sounds like an idea.
Yeah, award ceremony. What else are we gonna do?
I don't know.
Do you have a better idea?
I don't know. Do you have actual awards to give out?
Well, I can make them virtual.
Oh, okay.
But I don't want to leave anyone out. That's the problem. We'll get a trophy.
Fred says, ooh, the top five Heart Theaters. Vote on it and make Greg pick. Oh, here's a callback. Vince says, give out the golden boob light.
Oh, hey now. That's a good idea.
Never Mind Me says, College World Series is over. We have nothing to look forward to for 2 months.
Okay. Nothing?
Nothing.
That's not true. I think we have plenty to look forward to. I think this is fun. It's a lot more. I'll give you this. It is a lot more fun when we have games to watch. But we can watch old games too.
We got more memories to share, Minnie.
Okay.
Dana Williams, hopefully he's still hanging out on Facebook, says, favorite Husker memories when I was at the 78 OU game and the governor recovered 2 fumbles and I got to help carry a goalpost across the AstroTurf.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that the game that we watched?
That is the game we watched. It's I don't know if that one's member exclusive anymore, but if you're a member of the YouTube channel, then you should be able to enjoy it, and maybe even if you're not. Roger Moore
says,
just
remember that. I said because we take care of our members.
That's right. Except the one watch along that we recorded and then disappeared from the archives before it got a chance to be uploaded. My fault, everybody.
No.
I clicked a button.
It was mine.
Made an assumption.
I can't believe it just was gone like that. It's
just gone. Roger Moore says Alex Henry's record field goal for Nebraska. Nebraska Strong says the miracle at Missouri, a.k.a. the flea kicker. The Hail Mary miracle, the Westerkamp Hail Mary catch. Brandon Riley's catch against number 7 Michigan State, completing a 20-point comeback. That's the one where, if I remember correctly, he was accused of running out of bounds, but because he was pushed out of bounds, he was able to catch the ball, be the first one to touch the ball, made that catch.
Tommy Armstrong. 39-38 was that score. No, I was just looking it up because I didn't know what you were talking about. In 2015. 2015.
That was a snowy game, if I remember correctly. Nebraska Strong said that the Riley catch was number 3, and then number 4 was the Black 41 flash reverse pass to beat Oklahoma. That's also on Roger Moore's list. Roger Moore also says the fumble Ruski and claims I got carded on my beer run. I did not. Thanks to a touch of gray.
When was the last time you were carded, Greg?
Like, you mean outside of a time when they, like, sorry, we have to card everybody?
Yeah.
It's probably been 15 years. That's probably before I was 30.
It's got to make you feel old.
Oh, yeah. I feel old. I feel old standing up, sitting down. I just feel old. Nebraska Strong's honorable mention is Brooke Behringer, running for the go-ahead touchdown against Wyoming after being down by 14 at the half with a collapsed lung and a cracked rib.
The thing is when you find out afterwards what their ailments have been, like playing with a broken jaw and a broken thumb, these quarterbacks, it's amazing the heart that they have.
Would you say it's 5 heart, Minnie?
Greg, I would say it's 5 heart. For sure. That's what I love.
This. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said that's what I love about it.
I saw this earlier before I jumped on. The McNeese run by Amir Abdullah was pure want to. It sure belongs on some list. Kaylee would say, would have the Jack Hoffman touchdown run on the Mount Rushmore, one of the warmest moments in Husker football history. Nebraska Strong said, how about Bouncer-Ruski? I don't know. I'm not familiar with the Bouncer-Ruski. Did that get discussed? Did that get clarified?
Fumble-Ruski, I think is what he meant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Val on Facebook says the best moments and memories of Husker football games are when Lyle Bremser was broadcasting on KFAB radio. One of those times when Johnny the Jet Rogers ran for his first touchdown, and he said Johnny the Jet Rogers just tore them loose from their shoes. So that's a great memory and great call. Not going to say that one, Fred. No offense. The pimp kick, that got mentioned. Nebraska Strong says, Minnie, how did you become a Husker fan? I think we've talked about this before, but by golly, let's have it again.
Greg, you always do this to me when I'm not fresh. I'm going to do a video. You know what I'll do, Nebraska Strong, for you? For anybody else interested, I will make a separate video talking about it. Talking about why I think I'm the best fan there is. Is that fair?
Yeah. Don't go to the comment section after it.
Just ignore it.
Yeah, I would not go to the comment section after that video.
Okay.
I
will answer this. I promise. Thank you, 1970s child also.
Stephen Fromm says all those sacks Sue had versus Colt McCoy in the Big 12 championship game, pure gold. Let's see here. High Mountain Guy's not wrong. 2 months of winning the offseason and only 2 more months until we can start winning the regular season.
Yeah, I know. We do this well.
Let's see. Scrolling through. I like this one from Blake. The prayer at Penn State midfield. Now they're putting cops out there. Yeah. So you probably don't remember this, Minnie, but when Joe Paterno was like, they removed his statue when the Jerry Sandusky thing came out, all the turmoil in Happy Valley was not so happy.
Okay.
And Nebraska was set to play Penn State at Penn State that weekend. And they just got both teams together at midfield before the game, led by, I'm pretty sure, Ron Brown, and had a big 2-team prayer service, prayer briefly, for obviously for healing for the community and the victims, things like that. So,
yeah, sure. A show of support for the victims of sexual abuse and a way to bring a sense of healing and hope to the university and community. Yeah. That absolutely should have been done. What's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with it. That's one of Blake's favorite moments.
No, I love it.
So, Stephen Fromm wants to know, who's your favorite Martinez quarterback? Is it Taylor or Adrian?
Wow. For me, it has to be Adrian. I loved his you have to realize, okay, when he was quarterback, we had Scott Frost as head coach. And with Scott Frost, it was painful to watch him give his press conferences after the games, right? But Adrian kind of just explained it all in the way that he saw things and just was willing to always take the blame. And obviously he always thought he could do better. So I loved Adrian.
Adrian was a better leader than Scott. Is that what you're saying?
He was better at speaking in public, for sure.
I would say Taylor for me. Just a bit more of a wild card, definitely more dynamic with his legs, especially before he got hurt. But that's where we get the phrases like YOLO bombs and arm punts. You never knew quite where you were going to get with Taylor, and that little bit of uncertainty or surprise was kind of always exciting. And it was at a time when Nebraska was winning more consistently. So, Aaron says Taylor 100%. HMG says Taylor. I think those are the only responses to that.
Not true. Aaron Rosowski says Adrian in the press conferences, Taylor on the field. Him turning the corner against Washington and K-State were just goosebumps inducing. But he
had some very big games. Let's see here.
Okay, I'll tell you, High Mountain Guy, my fandom did start, and Mark Rogers helped me figure this out because I couldn't figure out who the quarterback was when I first watched my first Husker game. It was Tommy Armstrong. And
Was it the Ohio State game?
It was. Yeah.
Where he
Go ahead.
I was going to say, well, it's your story. You tell it.
No. I love the interaction.
So he got hit pretty bad, hurt. He was taken to the hospital. And somehow, miraculously, he's never going to walk again to, like he's in his sweats and he's, or street clothes or whatever, warm-ups, and he's jogging back to the bench to rejoin his team. Oh, it was, honestly, it was a powerful moment.
Yes.
But Nebraska didn't win.
No, not at all. But what caught me was they pulled the ambulance onto the field. And if you've ever been to Ohio State, like the hospital is within walking distance.
What are they supposed to do? Put him on a stretcher and wheel him over there?
I don't know. Golf cart, something. Anyways, his girlfriend is standing on the sidelines, who's actually now his wife, and they have kids. So this story just gets better and better. She's standing on the sidelines and she's like, this gorgeous blonde-haired girl. And I'm like, what's going on? What? I couldn't help it. It was that drama that pulled me in. Not, again, probably more of a fireworks story for you guys, but I loved it.
That was a cool moment. I can't take anything away from that moment. I sometimes forget about that, and if it would have been great if Nebraska would have come back and won the game, but that was not to be. We got a lot of clarification here about the bouncer-rooski. Rostovsky says bouncer-rooski was a lateral pass that was bounced and thrown again. So Turner Gill bounced the ball back, and it was against Oklahoma in 1982.
We watched this. I hated that. This is your best. This is your favorite.
Who, me?
Okay, never mind.
Not me. It's somebody else. Sorry.
Go ahead. Finish.
No, I got nothing else to say.
Okay.
Rostovsky says the one sack where Sue literally threw McCoy. Let's see. Scott Frost was like, sand in your bathing suit. Or toilet paper on your shoe.
He needed a PR person desperately. How come nobody saw that?
I don't know.
Just anybody to help him. I felt his anguish. Like, I was scared. I was scared for the reporters asking the questions.
A lot more conversation in here about Penn State. 1970s Child says what many people don't talk about is that many Penn State fans were more worried about the football legacy than the victims. I grew up around here, so I'm not making stuff up. I believe that. Like, there were people who were just so opposed to the idea of the Joe Paterno statue coming down. I don't know what he knew, what he didn't know. I mean, I wasn't there. But yeah, that was the big, like, there was correct me if I'm wrong, 1970s Child or anyone, but like when that news came down, like there was a vigil service held, not for the victims, at least it didn't seem like it was for the victims, but it was for like, we must protect the sanctity of Nittany Lion football. And it was wild, like so misguided or short-sighted. Let's see. Charles Hewlett says the tunnel walk and the flyover after 9/11 versus Rice.
Yeah.
I
think you showed that to me. Actually, I know you did.
Aaron says, do we have a Mount Rushmore of worst plays for NU next week where we all just get sad and hammered? No, we're going to keep it positive, I've been told.
Well, that's what you say. I say we do a Mount Rushmore of, I like to call them bonehead plays.
Bonehead plays and bloopers. We'll figure it out. We'll talk about it after the show. We'll have a post-production meeting, and we'll determine if that's the way it's going. Like, so next thing.
Do you hear how he handles that? That's how it's going down, Greg. Deal with it. We're doing.
I'm sorry. Is this a Monday night show or a Thursday night show?
Obviously, I started it as a Monday night show. You weren't here.
Yeah, I was. I was listening. I was like, oh, this is why you need me around, because I know what day of the week it is. So, all right. So we got that. Melissa says, guys, to which we say, Melissa. Somebody, Pitt actually awarded points to Melissa tonight for being quiet. Let's see here.
She agrees with me too much. Is that why?
No, she doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
More often than not, Melissa's on my side because she's a smart Husker fan.
Yeah, she also is my BFF.
And earlier, when you said when you came on board as a Husker fan in the timeline, James says Minnie just admitted that she jinxed the team.
James, if I really thought that, I would stop being a fan, okay? If I really thought that I had anything to do with it, I'm not a jinx. Maybe I am. Maybe that's what the problem has been.
Well, friends, it's about that time. Even though I got here late, we were supposed to talk something about recruits and commits, but I don't think that's going to happen tonight. Yeah. We just went down memory lane, and what a trip it was. We definitely appreciate all of your input. It's a 3-person show. We have myself, Greg Mahochko, we have Minnie Hunt, and we have you, the dedicated Holgormaniacs, who really do make this just a fantastic evening each and every week. So thank you, all of you. Pitt, everybody gets 50 points.
Including me.
Pitt, almost everybody gets 50 points. None for the host, Minnie because of her list and me for being late. Fair?
I like my list.
Okay. With that being said, we're going to take this opportunity to get the hell out of here. So we'll be back next week. Thank you for all the laughs, all the memories, all the shaming. It's equal opportunity shaming, and I appreciate that. It's not just all pointed at me anymore. So thank you all, and we will hopefully see you all next Thursday. But between now and then, you'll have Monday Night Therapy on Monday night.
Wait, we got to talk about next Thursday. Are we doing next Thursday? Because it's July 3rd, right?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
It's not July 4th.
Okay. All right. It's my middle child's birthday. She's going to be a teenager.
Oh, well, that's not too...
It's okay. She's actually, you know what the plan is? I'll tell you what the plan is. She's having a sleepover, so it's okay.
So you're going to have a house full of 12-year-olds?
12, well, she's young for her grade, so all of her friends are already 13.
Oh, you'll have a house full of 13-year-olds.
Yeah.
You're going to need to be over here.
They know everything. Help me.
You're gonna need to stay away from that as much as possible. So
right
nowadays, like, oh no. All right, that'll do it for this episode of the 5 Heart Podcast. Apparently, next week we're doing our best bonehead plays. Yay! I've already got 2 right up here, so it's gonna be super fun.
Bonehead plays a 5 Heart.
No. Bonehead Husker plays.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we'll bring your beverages so we can enjoy the misery together. So,
Cheers.
cheers, all of you. Greg Mahochko, Minnie Hunt, 5 Heart Podcast. Other words reminding you each and every week that 5 Heart is all the heart you need. Minnie?
And go Big Red.